Listen up, hockey fans. It's time for you to put your fantasy knowledge to the test and win huge cash prizes every night playing one-day fantasy hockey at DraftKings.com. At DraftKings, there's so many ways to play. You can choose from public contests with huge cash prizes or private contests where you can compete against your friends. They've even got beginner and casual contests where you'll play against people of a similar skill level. The best part, you get to draft a new team each day. And drafting a team is arguably the best part of fantasy. The only thing better is winning cash doing it. Just ask Dan from St. Louis or Jeremy from Austin. They both turned a $3 entry into $1,000. Huge cash prizes and bragging rights await at DraftKings. Use the code CLNS or Bruins Beat at DraftKings.com to play free with your first deposit for your share of $10,000 in total prizes tonight. Don't wait. Again, use the code CLNS or Bruins Beat at DraftKings.com now to choose your lineup, and you can seriously cash in tonight. That's the code CLNS or Bruins Beat only at DraftKings.com. The game inside the game. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
The season's upon us, it's that time of year. Brandy and eggnog, there's plenty of cheer. There's lights on the trees and there's wreaths to be hung. There's mischief and mayhem and songs to be sung. There's bells and there's holly, the kids are gung-ho. True love finds a kiss beneath fresh mistletoe. Some families are messed up while others are fine. If you think yours is crazy, well, you should see mine.
And welcome to another edition of the Bruins Beat here on CLNS Media Network. Jimmy Murphy here and Joe Gill as well. And, you know, both Joe and I, we agree on little, but one of the things we do agree on is that the Christmas season, when it comes to the media and advertising and, you know,
music,
department stores, grocery store, whatever. It's just being ushered in too early. I mean, for Christ's sake, people are already talking and selling Christmas in August these days. And it ticks us off. And we've made that
ridiculous.
Clear. We've made that clear in the last 2 weeks as the Christmas season has approached. But as the Dropkick Murphys just said, the season is upon us, and actually it is here. And I got to tell you, Joe, I mean, I had the pleasure of decorating my own Charlie Brown Christmas tree with my young little Maddie. Yeah.
Did you see my obese tree I have? A tree that needs to go on a diet? It's very...
Yeah, I did, my friend, and I am so envious of it and jealous.
Apple tree.
I'm in a bachelor pad here. This, the Charlie Brown Christmas tree fits better. And I'll tell you, it was great because my little 6-year-old daughter could reach every point of the tree. So
there you go. Well,
she loved it. She was in heaven. And I could too, being that I'm only 1 foot taller than her. So
my son would have to take a forklift to get to the top of mine. So the funny thing is, quickly, we bought our tree up in the area where I live in Dunstable, Groton, Massachusetts, and we pull into this one place and we didn't even know where we were going, driving through a yard. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Funny Farm with Chevy Chase.
Yes.
Did you see that?
Do you
remember
I've seen
the
probably
mailman?
every Chevy Chase movie, man.
Remember the mailman?
Yep.
He used to throw the shit, and he missed the mailbox completely.
Yeah.
And have the backfires and all this stuff. This is the dude who owned the tree place.
Oh, no.
He actually cut in the wrong way. Then he comes bowing around like Road Warrior.
Oh,
and he's
boy.
Burnt out, Cavalier or whatever it was. He's like, how you doing? This is my tree farm. I've been here for 35 years. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, we're going to die in this field. We're going to die in this field. But happy holidays, bitches.
So Joe, I'll tell you, God bless my dad, my late dad growing up. So there came a point in his life where we were sort of like, all right, we didn't believe in Santa anymore. We're getting older. We're like, we're juniors, seniors in high school. And he was just kind of like, it was becoming, and then it became an empty nest. So he didn't bother getting a tree to right up against Christmas. Maybe it was the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, even one year, Christmas Eve. Because he didn't care.
F off.
And then he also was like, I'm like, Dad, you wait so long. And he's like, yeah. but I got this 20 spot right now, so you can go get us a nice bottle of adult beverage eggnog.
There we go.
There we go. And like, it's true, man. I mean, the longer you wait, those guys are trying to sell those trees, and he'd just be like, "Yep, thank you. I'll take that beautiful one right there for $20. Thank you very much." But it's great. The Christmas season's upon us. We're going to be hearing Renee Rancourt cranking out the Christmas carol soon at TD Garden. But Joe, the one other thing that that's cranking out right now, not just at TD Garden,
baby.
are wins. And by the way.
Bad finger.
By the way.
What's up? Tuukka asked me?
Should we cue the James Brown? I'm back.
Oh, the payback?
I'm back. I'm back.
Baby.
Good. I mean,
I got the feeling.
For the idiot that tweeted to me today, or yesterday when I said, "Oh, Tuukka haters, crickets," he says, "Oh, well, big deal. He beat Philly, who hasn't played well." Right? Who cares? It doesn't matter. He won.
Save.
He won.
Saves. And by the way,
there was a very clutch save late down the stretch. If you don't recall, he made the saves when he needed to make them. He hasn't been doing that all season. We both have made it obvious, Joe. You and I definitely supporters of Tuukka. We think he gets a bad rap, but we also admitted when he was wrong, and we admitted Hudobin was playing better. But guess what? Now it's time for the Tuukka haters to admit when Tuukka plays well. And yesterday, he shut the door.
Yeah, he played very well yesterday. Tampa, he was a little shaky in the first two periods, but
Tampa was
at the very
even
end of the second, and the third, he played very well. And because the Bruins were actually on cruise control and just trying to survive that third period.
Yeah,
I thought that drives me nuts when you come out like gangbusters against a superior team for two periods, and then you just put it in like low gear for the rest of the third, which I did not understand at all, which really upset me actually.
And I thought that. Honestly, I heard a lot of people today saying that, and even Cassidy said it after the game, Joe, that yesterday he thought was his best performance. I disagree. I thought the third period against Tampa was his best performance
he's
of
really
the year.
Good. Third period.
And by the way, that's Tampa that he did that to.
Oh, but they played the night before. They lost 4 out of 6, and you're gonna hear all that shit.
Whatever, man. They're still Tampa.
Jimmy's gonna make everything happy if both goaltenders are playing well and they keep winning. Who gives a shit?
Who cares, right? And stop picking sides and just enjoy the ride. And
everybody's getting healthy. I mean, I think we almost had a full team yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, and that's another thing too. And this is one of the things that I think you and I have been trying to preach to the masses here is calm the hell down here, man. It's like,
well, I mean, beside that game I went to and I was shit-faced.
I know, man, but things happen. There's exceptions to the rule. But I think overall you've kept a level head and you've understood that this team is very young, okay? And B, we both agreed, and I think anyone with any common sense and anyone that knows hockey knew that they're a borderline playoff team at best. We knew that. And C, I mean, I don't have the stats right in front of me, but I'm going to go on the record and say they've got to be in top 3 in man games lost this season. And not just man games lost. We're talking like key players. I mean, David Krejci out of the lineup twice. Brad Marchand out of the lineup twice. Patrice Bergeron out of the lineup to start the season.
Backus.
Yeah, Backus.
Which is amazing, by the way. That story, fucking amazing. Just amazing. A month. He had 10 inches of his colon taken out, and he's back in a month. That is just, like, beyond science.
By the way, I don't know about you, but if I'm Back's agent, I sign a deal with Imodium right now. I mean... Perfect match.
Mr. Funny Pants. I haven't
match made in heaven. I'm sorry.
I have intestinal issues as well.
I do
too,
my friend. Now. You know that. I've got intestinal issues too. God bless him, though.
God, your head up your rectum, laddie. But
or Jameson. But
no, but honestly, in all seriousness, that is just an amazing story. Like I don't think people would really realize how incredible that is.
You know what's even more amazing is how active he's been. He may have not scored. He may not be flashy,
you made a great breakup the other night.
But no, he's been a factor, and more so he's been a factor in terms of being vocal and being a leader. I must have counted in the last probably 4 days at least 7 players, I think, complimenting David Backes without being prompted, by the way, on that. Like when they're talking about the game and, you're just trying to get a general reaction from him. The reporters are doing this in the post-scrums. they went out of their way to point to Backes and say, yo, this guy's come in, man. And like, A, just the fact he's back is inspiration. And B, the way he's talking to us and the motivation that he's providing. The Bruins have been missing that. Bergeron's a great leader. All right. I mean, but
silent leader.
Exactly. And you know, I don't want to get into the little Chara thing. I don't want to
Chara's
take
been
anybody
playing
off.
balls, by the way.
Chara's playing awesome. Don't get me wrong, but you know, all I'm saying is they need another voice there, and it was great to see Backes come in right now. And you know, Pierre Maguire. Okay, I listen to Mitch Melnick, my buddy up in Montreal on TSN. He does the drive home show there on TSN 690. And you know, I know Pierre, but I mean, listening to him a lot, and man, he ticks the Habs fans off when he says this, but he has been warning them up there at least since probably last January, even before Claude got fired. He said, they're a mess right now, but next year, towards the latter half of the year, so we're not even at that point yet.
Nope.
But this is him talking last January, and he's been reiterating it throughout the end of last season and into this season. He's been saying, the Bruins are coming. Watch out. The Bruins
by land,
are
two
coming.
by sea.
Okay?
The Bruins are coming.
Yeah,
looking good, man.
You know that while it annoys a lot of people, Pierre knows his prospects. He knows what's coming up through the system. He knows a lot of people. So you got to take that at face value. If you're a Bruins fan right now, and I don't care if after we do this podcast, Joe, they go on a 7-game losing streak.
Oh, shut your dirty
No,
bum
I'm
mouth.
just telling you right now.
You pirate hooker.
Take everything with a grain of salt and stay positive. Because, as Pierre said, the Bruins are coming. There is so much skill coming through and already in the pro system right now. It's coming, man. And if they do it
I'll
right,
tell you right now,
if they don't screw up on contracts,
right?
If they don't scapegoat Cassidy or trade a player, easy now. If they don't have a knee-jerk reaction like they've always done throughout the course of my lifetime, if they don't have a knee-jerk reaction and they practice what they preach and they continue this soft rebuild, I'm telling you, man, this team's going to contend and if not win a cup or two again in our lifetime at least. I'm telling you, buddy.
I hope so. But I know the trending hashtag now is chubby for Charlie. I mean, dude, God, he just makes me like have like just saturation in the front of the pants. It's just, and not talking about urine. It's just unbelievable.
No, Charlie who?
Charlie McAvoy, my God.
Oh, okay. Jesus Christ.
Jesus, Charlie. Who do you think of? Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
I thought you were talking about Charlie Jacobs. I almost had a heart attack. I was going to hang up the phone.
I'm not into that. I don't hang out with the nursing home, the rich people nursing home.
Or the horse fields.
But the Jersey game, I remember that they went like 45 rounds.
By the way, how nasty is Jersey?
What's that?
How good? Speaking of teams that are coming, that's another big win the Bruins had.
That was a huge win.
Jersey's good, man. They are really good.
They went 45 rounds, and then I was calling for like, why don't you put McAvoy in? Because I'm like, put McAvoy in. The kid's he's got the chops, he's got the offensive skill to come in there, and that move he did against Corey Schneider was just like, let me just absolutely just in my whole room. The whole room was saturated. It was like that scene from South Park. Same thing, white stalactites from the ceiling. It was incredible. He is just so freaking good. He actually got me out of my seat. I was like screaming after he won that game because that was just filthy, rotten filth.
Well, you know what? You just made a little light bulb go off in my brain because one of the topics I want to bring up.
It is little.
It's not necessarily Charlie McAvoy that we discussed before, but that was a great segue there. Joe, you haven't heard it yet. I know you're going to check it out after, but I'll tell our listeners here they got to check it out on murphyshockeylaw.net and on the CLNS network. I'm not trying to do a self plug here, but if you're a Bruins fan or even a hockey fan, you got to listen to this interview. I've got Phil Esposito one-on-one with me on the latest Murphy's Hockey Law on CLNS, and we recorded it this past Friday. And as we're recording it, it dawned on me the time of year it was. I'm like, why? It's December 1st. Why am I feeling like? Why is this sort of like like light bulb, like I said, going off about Phil Esposito right now. What's the connection? Why do I keep thinking there's something historic here when it comes to Phil Esposito? And then it dawned on me as him and I were recording that December 3rd, which is now as we record this on Sunday, December 3rd, 30 years ago, December 3rd, 1987. For you listeners that weren't alive then, you got to listen to this, and you got to go to YouTube. If you're a Bruins fan, you got to see it because I think, Joe, I mean, I don't know about you. Maybe it's just because I was alive for it and I was there. I attended it with my grandfather. But it's still, to me, one of the coolest sports moments I've ever seen. And you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, retiring numbers. Absolutely.
No, but we've seen plenty of number retirement ceremonies.
When he took the jersey off.
But how many retirement ceremonies do you see when...
Ray Bourque.
Yeah, okay. So for our listeners that don't know, that night the Bruins retire Phil Esposito's number 7. It was long overdue. He had some bad blood with management. But finally, they decide to retire it. And now the story goes, as Espo tells in this podcast, is that, you know, at the time, Ray Bourque's wearing number 7. And Ray Bourque's already been on the team for, I believe at that point, 6 or 7 years. I think
79, 80, yep.
Yeah, 79, 80. So 7 years, okay? So this is 87, 88 season. And, you know, at that time, it's pretty clear that he's going to be a future Hall of Famer, and he's a legendary player already in 7 years into his career, and you know he's something special. He's wearing number 7. And, you know, everybody's like, well, what's going to happen? And so basically what the Bruins said were that they were going to kind of follow in the Maple Leafs' footsteps and some other teams that do this where, you know what, we love Espo, but, I mean, we know we got something special here in Bourque, and you know, they went to Espo and they said, would you be okay if, you know, we raise number 7 with your name on it now, but when Ray retires and we want to retire his number and it's still 7, can we put both your names on it? And Espo's like, sure, don't worry about it, no problem. I mean, he's clearly going to be a Hall of Famer. But Ray Bourque, the class act that he is, went to Harry Sinden and Terry O'Reilly and said, look, here's what I want to do. I want to become 77, and I want to give 7 to Espo for good. And it's
Classic.
just, you know,
Respecting the game.
Being in that moment and then being able to interview Phil Esposito about that moment and hearing him tell the story of how Ray came up to him and basically, as you'll hear it in there, and, you know, basically now you don't have to listen because I'm giving the whole story away, but
pretty much.
He comes up to him and I mean, Joe, if this doesn't give you chills, he said that Ray shook his hand. He said, here you go, big fella. This is yours, and it always should have been yours.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Great moment. And, you know, just talking about, you know, great moment with Espo, what of the biggest heist of a trade in the history of hockey? What that was Harry, right?
Yeah.
I
mean, criticize Harry all you want. He made some pretty good
That was Harry
trades.
and Milt Schmidt, yeah?
Yeah. And Harry made the Cam Neely trade, too.
What a hijacking that was. So let me go over that. What was that trade again? It was him, Hodge, right? Came over together. And Stanfield, no. Carroll something or another was in that trade, too.
Carroll Vadnai.
Yes, he was in that trade, right?
Yep.
We got him or we traded him?
No, he was in that trade.
We got him, right? We got him from the Rangers. I mean, not the Rangers. No. The Rangers? No. What am I forgetting here? Where did he come from again? Was it Chicago? No. What team was he coming from? What team did we get him from again? The Rangers, right?
No, man. We actually traded Phil Esposito to the Rangers.
The Rangers. Where did we get him from? God, I can't believe it's escaping me right now. Help a brother out. Where did we get him from?
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, we sound like idiots right now, but I apologize.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
Jesus.
You know what? I'm actually feeling young. So thank you. The fact that we don't know the exact details of this is making me feel young.
Okay. I can't believe I can't remember the damn. It wasn't Chicago, was it? No. God, Google this because it's driving me nuts. Oh.
He was drafted by Chicago, actually.
It was Chicago. Okay.
Yeah.
God, that's awful. I can't believe we forgot that. It's pretty bad.
But he was traded to the Rangers.
What a great trade that was.
And the Bruins actually, it turned out being an okay trade because the Bruins basically won that trade because they got Brad Park and Carroll Vadnai.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yes. So Brad Park, yes.
And,
so that was
and another guy that should go in the Hall of Fame soon came from the Rangers too. Number 16.
Oh, Ricky.
Yeah, nifty.
Yeah, so that was a double trade. Good trade. Trade getting them and trade them out. So it worked out perfectly. It was a good trade.
But the thing that was weird was hearing Espo say this, right? And just hearing him, just listening to his voice and the way he told it, it was so cool because I'm telling you, man.
Genuine.
I mean, I've been a lucky guy through my, becoming a sports journalist and experiencing some pretty amazing moments as a reporter, and I also got to experience some great moments as a fan. But I mean, still combining them all, that's like in top 3 in my life, man.
Oh wow, that's pretty good.
No, I don't know what it was. It was sort of like my grandfather and I. That was our bond. He had season tickets to the Bruins for 45 years, and going to those games with him, like every Thursday night, was just such a tradition with us. And I mean, that to me, that's what my grandfather is. And he introduced me to hockey, and he's probably the reason I do what I do now. And that was sort of my trademark introductory moment to Bruins hockey, and it was just. So
you your top 3 moments were your daughter meeting me, and then
sports moments, bro. Jesus.
Oh, okay. I thought,
but yes, lifetime moments, yes, for sure.
I think all-time moments was your daughter, the meeting me, and then maybe Espo. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's pretty dead on.
No, top 3 moments are my daughter. But
it's funny. We just had, and I don't know if anybody out there knows that Jimmy and I just had a big holiday, a big occasion we had our Facebook friendiversary the other day.
Yeah.
Even though I followed him back in the day, and because I knew he was I think he was with ESPN Boston back then.
Yeah. Speaking of, shout out to all my poor friends who just got laid off there. But anyhow.
Well, thanks for bringing everybody fucking down. And then I heard you went to Montreal. I'm like, that turncoat bastard. And then you came back, and then before you know it, we are now on a podcast together.
There we go, my friend.
Circle of life.
Yep, Circle of Life is great. Circle of Life is great. I want to get back into the Bruins for a bit before we close it out, Joe. And we talked about Tuukka. We talked about them getting healthy and just how great the young kids have been. I tweeted this earlier, and it was really funny because I was telling you the story off air. We got to tell them, Joe, about my Marchand Gronk parallel that happened. Yes. Yeah, it was really weird. Terrible. So there I am. I don't know. It must have been about 2 hours before we started recording. I didn't see the Patriots game on Sunday. I was working for My Hockey Live. Joe, I helped call 7 high school hockey games in the span of 4 hours.
How do you know all these names? How could you even do that?
Can you imagine that I still have a voice right now? I'm telling you, man.
How do you know all the kids' names? I mean, how do you do that?
I don't know. I don't know how I do that. I'm like a Rain Man or something, but I'm telling you right now.
Oh, you are a Rain Man.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm I'm geeky as it, whatever. But
yes, you are.
Listen, my friend, I'll tell you. It works like a charm, and I shouldn't probably say this, but hot toddies do the wonder for your voice. If you're ever losing your voice, you got to go to. You were telling me off air about corporate America sucking and going to work on a Monday. Well, if your voice is ever failing you, buddy, hot toddy. There you go. Right before you go to bed.
Toddies to yourself, and don't need to tell.
You know what a hot toddy is?
I don't know.
It's a Jameson, tea.
I've heard of it.
Lemon, and honey.
And man juice. All right, good job. You enjoy that.
Hot man juice.
Hot Manny. There you go.
But there you go, my friend. Anyhow.
Anywho, I digress.
Back to what we were saying, though. So I'm there and I tweet. I was just thinking about it. I'm looking at his stats, and I'm seeing yesterday when Provorov totally cheap shotted him, and he doesn't respond really, and he keeps his cool.
Yeah.
I got to give Brad Marchand so much credit right now, man. He has really altered his game and learned how to walk that line.
Not to be a douchebag.
Not just walk it. He's almost walking above it now, and he's not making those stupid brain fart plays.
That guy in Tampa's ball.
Like Gronkowski for the Patriots.
Okay, that was pretty that was stupid. Well, you remember that game right before the playoffs last year when he speared that dude from Tampa, and then we missed him for what? He missed the last couple games, which he could have probably moved a little bit in the playoff scene. I was bullshit. And I love those people going, well, if your guy did it, I go, no, I called out Marsh. I thought it was the stupidest fucking thing he could have done.
I was kind of let down too. I was kind of stunned there because I thought at that point, I thought he had already become what we saw yesterday, and sort of turned the, kind of taking that turn there for the better, because I remember Joe sitting next to Brad Marchand in the Winter Classic at Foxborough, right? And the Bruins just
that
get
debacle.
absolutely.
I was there.
Well, and the Bruins came out flat, and they never they never got the momentum going. They obviously ripped it up at the NHL's Great Winter Classic party, which, let me tell you, man, it's debauchery, and obviously they partook, but they could have used the Marchand spark in that game. And I remember
there's only two guys that responded in that game with Tuukka and Bergeron. That was it.
And
no one else.
But you know what? What I'm trying to tell you, Joe, is that I'm sitting there and I'm kind of looking at him as I'm watching this, right? And I keep looking at his face. And he looks like somebody just killed his dog, right? And I look at him and I'm like, it's totally off the record, but it's going to be on in a bit now. But I mean, in more words or less, I looked at him, I go, you wish you were out there, eh? And he's like,
he got suspended, yeah.
He's like, you have no idea.
Oh, of course.
And then he came out after and he went on the record and he said, I let my team down. And he knew that his style of play was exactly what they needed that day. And
but then he did it right before the playoffs.
Well, that's why it shocked me when he did that. But you know what? I'm not going to say for sure we won't, but we're going to see much less of that. And you can tell that he's become a leader on this team, man. And I used to be one of the biggest Marchand knockers of all time, to the point where he called me out a couple times on Twitter, and he's not like
really.
Oh yeah.
I have to look back on his feed.
Oh yeah.
I wonder what he said about you.
Oh yeah. So anyhow,
two short men fighting.
One's got a bigger nose than the other, though.
Oh,
anyhow,
yes.
So Marshy, God bless, man. You've really changed your game around, and I think you deserve a lot of credit.
Balls.
And I think an A should be permanently on your jersey at this point.
I agree.
So, speaking of leaders and great examples, you got to see and listen to somebody the other day, Joe, eh?
Yeah. So my company put on, had Travis Roy. If you do not know who Travis Roy is, he was playing for Boston University, 18-year-old, 1995.
95, excuse me, yep.
Yep, first 11 seconds on the ice, he hit a player, got deflected kind of off the player, and head first into the boards, and then he's a quadriplegic now. So he's in his 40s now, and he goes around as inspirational speaking. And I know his story, and I had to go check it out. So being a cancer survivor myself, I've had dark days, and I've can't sweat the small stuff, live every minute to the last, use every cliche possible, but it's kind of true. But just hearing him talk, the thing that really I kind of posted this on Big Bad Bruins too, but what really struck me the most is after he's laying on the ice motionless, right, and he's scared. He said, "I'm scared." I'm like, I know something was wrong, and my dad's coming up to me because my dad ran on the ice and he didn't know exactly what was wrong with me yet. So he's like, "Come on, Travis, get up." And he looks up he just utters he didn't look up, he couldn't. He says, "Dad, I made it." So even during the darkest moment of devastation, he still was positive because he made one of his life goals. He at least got on the ice for a Division I Hockey East team. You know what I mean? So I was like, that's amazing. You know what I mean? Like the last thing I probably would have been just sobbing, uncontrollably. But he's there telling his dad he made it. And he's proud. He probably got that far. Just amazing. And then he's talking about just small things like having, because he only has movement of his left arm, I think, because he has a couple of nerve endings and his biceps that still respond, but everything else he can't use. And he's just talking about how incredible it is just to have a bowl of cereal that he can lift to his own mouth. So when you're having a really shitty day, everybody has things going on in their life, and I'm not trying to preach here, but just from an example like him, just you got to keep on fighting and live every minute like it could be your last, because it could be. So, I know the holidays, if they're tough out there, just think of the good things you got. I mean, I had those dark days. I was always, when I had my cancer, my wife was always like, remember, you have me and your son. So you got to concentrate on the good shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you, brother. I'm with you, my man. It's like that moment I had. Hey, it may have been a Charlie Brown Christmas tree, but decorated with my daughter, man. I mean,
gold. That's
going to get me through the next month or so, because like you said, the holidays are tough, man. Your wallets get tight. You start thinking about who you don't have anymore and all that. And You know, appreciate it, man. And you know what? Appreciate the fact that we all got this great game of hockey, too. I'm psyched. This is one of my favorite times. And, you know, speaking... Oh, I'd even tell you the funny part quickly, too. We're decorating a tree. I'm going into my box of ornaments. And what comes up but the Rene Rancourt singing Christmas ornament that they gave the media.
I don't even know about that.
Yeah, they gave the media that about, I don't know, 5 to 7 years ago. So... my daughter pulls it up, right, and it's just Renee, and apparently like the square part that produced the sound and had him singing is cut off and lost. And she's like, Daddy, who's this weird looking dude?
Renee is a saint.
He is a weird looking dude.
I know she doesn't know who he is, but he's a saint.
He is a weird looking dude though.
But I just
couldn't you see him in like Fargo Part 3?
Oh God, dude, he's the best. I met him, dude. Oh, he's the best. Like when I went to the hockey resurrection party at the Harp so many years ago, put on by Kim Ring and the Harp people.
Please tell me he wasn't 6 deep at that point.
No, he was there, but he might have a few, but he would, dude. He whoops it up with the crowd. He just ties right into the crowd.
Oh yeah.
Zones right in. He's showing everybody his ring. He's doing the fist pumps on. You know, he's got the girls coming up to him, and he's, you know, they're swooning, and he's like all about it.
Yeah.
Hey, the pride of Maine, right? He's from Maine, right?
No, he's from Quebec.
I thought he's from Maine.
No, he's from Quebec.
Dude, he's from fucking Maine.
He's from Quebec. He lives in Maine.
Oh, here we go.
He's from
Anybody
Quebec.
out there know where he's from? I thought it was from Maine.
Trust me, he's from Quebec.
Google this shit.
But anyhow, listen to this, my friend.
Down. Who the Bruins got coming up? Let's do a quick...
You know what's hilarious, too? So when I was living in Canada, when I was living in Montreal... You know, and, you know, we'd be sitting there watching a hockey game or something or some kind of game, and I'm sitting there singing the words to O Canada. They're like, how the hell do you know all the words to O Canada like this? And I'm like, Rene Rancourt.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Every game at the Boston Garden, that's how I knew. That he taught me O Canada.
Oh, you son of a bitch. You go on your Wikipedia, you rat bastard, and it says Rancourt, a native of Lewiston, Maine.
It's a lie.
It's not a lie. It's in Wikipedia. It's on the internet. It has to be real. So
either Wikipedia is lying or Renee is lying to me because he told me he's from Laval.
Well, he's probably lying to you. Who would you lie to first? I lied to you before I lied to the internet.
Or maybe he didn't even have anything to do with his Wikipedia.
Wikipedia this. So who we got coming up for the Bees this week? We got Nashville tomorrow night, which my two friends are down there and I'm not, which is horseshit. They're getting all fucking liquored up as we speak, and I got to go to work tomorrow. That's not fair.
Yeah.
Not being fair at all.
The Nashville Predators, I don't got a good feeling about that game.
Dobie's playing tomorrow night. So I think they might lose. I think they lose in OT.
Let's look at the week ahead, and then what? They is Arizona on Thursday?
Win by 12.
Is that, if I'm not mistaken, that's the next game after that?
Yeah, they
Arizona
win by
Thursday. 12. And then who do they have the following Saturday? They've got the Isles. That's going to be a tough game as well. So 2 out of the next 3 games are going to be tough games.
So the Isles are really good, huh?
Well,
good.
Yeah.
Kind of good.
And by the way, John Tavares is in a contract here, and he's showing it.
So he's going the F off right now. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Figured as much.
All right, my friend. Listen.
I think they get points in all 3. I don't know if they win them all, but I think they get points in all 3.
All right. Well, hey, listen. It is the... we can now say, Joe, it's the holiday season, so happy holidays to everybody. We're going to send you out little mighty, mighty Boston's here. My friend, always a pleasure.
Pleasure.
All right.
Keep your stockings high and your trees low, whatever the hell that means. I don't know. I just made it up. It sucks.
No clue.
Anyway.
I'll talk to you next week, Joe. This is
Later,
Joe Gill,
baby.
Jimmy Murphy here on the Bruins Beat on TLNS Network. Have a good one.
The stores I packed, the stuff to buy, the shelves I stacked a mile high. But back to what it is that I truly love about this time of year. Gets me and it never lets me act like I don't care. This time of year, favorite time of year, 'cause all of us are here together.
simply spending it with you that keeps me looking forward to